How many games will the Tennessee Titans win in 2024? What's going on, Titans fans? It's time to tighten up and discuss how many games they will win, what their record will be in 2024. This is my record prediction, previewing their schedule, the difficult games, the easy matchups, and the spectrum of how good the Titans can be this year. Because in my opinion, this is one of the most wild card teams in football. In terms of, I really have no idea. You really have no idea. Most people really have no idea. You can see a world where the Titans might be a lot better than people expect, at least the general public. We might be sleeping on Tennessee. But there's another world, maybe a likely one, where the Titans are just not good enough this year and maybe a year or two away. They've got a new starting quarterback for the entirety of the year. They've got a new coaching staff. There's a lot of new in Tennessee, but there's also a lot of excitement in Tennessee because there is a really strong foundation of a roster here that gets you excited for 2024. So let's discuss, let's predict. Gronk spike the like button. Don't forget to subscribe for all 32 NFL record predictions just like this, and hop in the comments and let me know how good you think the Titans will be in 2024. Will they be just okay? Average? Mid? Will they not be very good? Will they make the playoffs? Will they win the division? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's talk about it. So, their schedule begins with maybe one of the most interesting games of week number 1. The Chicago Bears play the Titans at home in Chicago. Caleb Williams' first start in the NFL. This is, talk about a game I would not want to bet on. I have no idea what Caleb Williams is going to look like in week 1, what Will Levis is going to look like. And speaking of that, I'm going to make a video on Will Levis before the season starts because I need to go and watch all of his snaps from last year again. Because I watched him in real time, and there was moments where he was good, there was moments where he was bad, there was moments where there was everything in between, but it felt very inconsistent. And I could see the same thing happening this year. I feel like he could be maybe a little bit better, but honestly, he is one of the biggest wild cards that the NFL has this year. And so the quarterback position in this game is a complete wild card. They have a new coaching staff. They have new offensive linemen, a new offensive line coach. They have new secondary players. They have new players at receiver. There's so much new stuff in Tennessee. But there's also a lot of new stuff in Chicago. New offensive coordinator, new quarterback, new receivers, new offensive linemen. So like new running backs. It feels like there's so much new in this game. I kind of feel like Tennessee could beat Chicago. I do. But it is in Chicago. Like, Tennessee's secondary, I think, can actually match up with Chicago's receiving core. I think Will Levis does have more experience than Caleb Williams, but will Caleb Williams be better right away? I mean, there's certainly an argument for that. And I think Tennessee has got some pretty good talent at perimeter receiver. At running back, I think their O-line will be a lot, better than last year. I'm going to say the upset happens. I think the Titans win this game. I don't really, 100% certain here, but I'm going to go with Tennessee. I think the world is going to be on Chicago. I think everyone is going to pick Chicago, and I think the Titans are going to pull it out. Week 2, though, they come back down to earth. They lose to the Jets. The Jets, they have an elite defense. They have Aaron Rodgers. And although I think both of their offensive coordinator and their head coach are jabronis, I think that the Jets are just too talented to lose to the Titans. Now, it is at home. It is the home opener. You never really know about that. But the Jets are going to have to win this game because I think they're going to lose to the Niners in week 1. And I don't think they want to start 0-2. So I think that's also a factor. Shout out to Godzilla and Kong, I guess. Thanks for the ad. Green Bay Packers at the Tennessee Titans. This could be an upset here. I think the Packers are a much better team than Tennessee. But this is kind of a weird vibe to me. I think that Tennessee, again, another good receiving core, but I think Tennessee matches up. Jordan Love might have a game early in the year where he doesn't play great. I think this could be this game. The Packers might be able to run the ball a bit on Tennessee, so that's a factor. But I look at the offense of Tennessee, and I think they could also give the Packers defense some issues, especially early in the year where they're learning a new system under a new defensive coordinator, right? Tennessee's got plenty of good playmakers, and Will Levis he might have one of these games where he goes nuclear. He has that arm strength. He has the ability. It's just, is he on in terms of accuracy and decision-making at times? I think this might be another upset for Tennessee. So I'm going to go with it. Week 4, they play the Miami Dolphins. I think Miami wins that game. Revenge for last year on Monday night where Tennessee walked into Miami and beat them. Maybe it's just a matchup thing where Tennessee matches up well with Miami because they did smack them in previous years as well with Tua, but it's Monday night in Miami. I mean, that's a really tough game to win. I think they lose that game. And a 2-2 start would be very promising for the Titans, considering they're playing 4 teams that everyone thinks are better than the Titans going into the year, like everybody. So then they've got the bye week. Then they play the Colts after the bye, rested up, ready to go. I think they beat the Colts at home. I think they'll probably split with pretty much their entire division except for one team. We'll get to that a little bit later. So I think they'll lose to the Colts later in the season. I think part of the factor here is that Anthony Richardson, I think, is going to be an ascending player. I think he starts the season a little slow, but as the games go on and as the Colts continue to get more reps for him, I think he gets better and better and better as the season goes on. I think the Colts are a team where you can attack them in the secondary with the Titans receivers, and Tennessee having the home field, I think they'll win that game. Week 7, I think the Bills beat Tennessee in Buffalo. The Mafia is crazy. Josh Allen is just too good. Week 8, I think the Lions beat the Titans. Those are 2 really good teams back to back. I think they lose both those games. Lions are better at the line of scrimmage. I think they've got just a better quarterback, better coaching, a lot of better stuff. Like, the Lions are a legit contender. Week 9, they play the Patriots. I'm going to get back to this game because I sort of had a controversial take in my Patriots prediction, so I'm just going to call it a tie right now. And I might actually predict it as a tie because we'll get back to it. But the Los Angeles Chargers, I think the Chargers probably squeeze this one out. Both teams will be physical at the line of scrimmage. I think Tennessee could win this game, but I think the Chargers, they just have the much superior quarterback, and I think Jim Harbaugh is going to be the real deal as a coach. And by the time it's week 10, I think he'll have the coaching edge in this matchup as well. It depends how healthy the Chargers are, but they've got a pretty good offensive line, pretty good pass rush, some playmakers in the secondary. I think the Chargers in LA win that game. Week 11, I think the Titans bounce back and beat the Vikings. The Vikings, probably J.J. McCarthy. I'm not a huge believer as a rookie. I think that's a pretty even in terms of what we're going to get at quarterback there for both teams. I think the Titans and the Vikings are pretty similar. Like, they've got really good aspects to their team. Like, Tennessee has really good playmakers. The Vikings have even better playmakers than Tennessee, I would argue. And then the offensive lines, I think, are both ascending units. I think the defenses are more scheme over, like, players, I would say. But Tennessee, I'm going to give them the edge at home. I think they lose to the Texans in Houston. Texans are, in my opinion, pound for pound, by far the best team in this division. CJ Stroud's the best quarterback in this division, and DeMeco Ryans a great coach. Love their offensive coordinator, love their receiving core, like their defense a lot. Tough game. Week 13, Washington. This might be a game that Washington could win, but I think they're one of the worst teams in the league. I think the Titans should win that game. I think they are more talented, and I think, Tennessee, if they can rush the quarterback in this game, they should be able to win. Washington has a really suspect offensive line, but you never know. Washington's kind of a weird place to play, especially if this is a colder game. I could see maybe Tennessee losing. Week 14, I think they beat Jacksonville, and they lose to Jacksonville later in the year, and they'll split with them. I think Jacksonville is the better team with the better quarterback, but I do think they'll get them once this year. Week 15, Cincinnati, Tennessee. We've seen this game many times in recent history. Cincinnati has won most of those, and the Bengals are a legit contender as long as Joe Burrow is healthy. In the final week of the season, I think the Texans sweep Tennessee. That's the team that I think will sweep the Titans. I just don't see the Titans being able to beat the Texans going into the playoffs. Like, I think the Texans will take that game very seriously. It might be for a seeding position or something, unless the Texans aren't trying and already have the division wrapped up, which is possible. Maybe they rest and the Titans win the game, but I'm going to go with the Texans there. And then in week 9, it's the swing game. So honestly, like, I had New England at 6-11, so I could have, like, if New England wins, both teams are 6-11. I view the Patriots and Tennessee as pretty similar. I think that Tennessee has a lot more talent on offense, but I think the Patriots have a lot more talent on defense. So that's kind of where I see it. Both are new coaching staffs, young quarterbacks, ascending franchises, new eras, but not really a good team this year, but they'll be competitive. That's how I view both teams. So I have it as New England, but I could also see Tennessee winning the game. So depending on your preference in that game, I'd rather have them at 7-10 or 6-11, and I'll make my official prediction come August. But that's kind of where I stand right now with the Tennessee Titans. I think this is a very interesting team. I could see them winning anywhere from 5 to 10 games. I'd be shocked if they won more than 10. I think that'd be a little bit overboard, but it kind of depends on what Will Levis we're getting, the consistency, the jump that he takes, on top of how much better does the offensive line get with the improvement of the coaching, how much better does the offense get with the improvement of personnel and coaching, and then defense, are they a decent enough unit? Because I do worry about the defense in certain areas. I do think the secondary is really good, but I think the linebackers kind of suck. The safeties are kind of suspect. Front seven's kind of suspect. So Tennessee is kind of an up and down team for me. I think 6-11, 7-10 is most likely. 8-9 is very possible. And even the playoffs, I think, are not out of the spectrum of possibility. All right, so that's how I see the Tennessee Titans for 2024. Gronk spiked the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. One of the most interesting teams of 2024. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.